Good evening everybody, and once again welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I'll be showing you how you guys can use Apache Hudi Delta Streamer, also called as Hudi Streamer, running on your AWS Glue. Hudi brings database functionality to your data lakes. Hudi is widely adopted and used by Fortune 500 companies such as ByteDance, Uber, and much more. So, Hudi Delta Streamer makes data ingestion a very simple and an easy process. You can ingest data from CSV, JSON, Parquet, Kafka, and much more into Hudi in a streamlined approach. So let's learn how customers can leverage Hudi Delta Streamer running on AWS Glue. Before we begin the lab, first of all, I want to thank Aditya. Aditya, thank you so much for all your help that you have been providing me, and which is making learning Hudi a fun and an easy process. Right, so the first step is you need to download a sample dataset to perform this lab. So head over to the link that is given to you, and this link will take you to the Google Drive. And what you want to do is basically click here and click on download button. A sample Parquet file would be downloaded on your computer. Now, let's navigate to that file, as you can see over here. Now head over to S3 and create a new folder, and let's call this folder test. Then click on create folder. As you can see, we have a folder called test. Now what you want to do is drag the sample dataset into this S3 bucket over here. As you can see, now I'm gonna click on upload. Now we have some sample data that we can play with. All right, step 2. Now we need to download 3 jar files, and then we need to upload these jar files on S3. Let me show you the jar files. So the first jar file that we would need is jcommander-1.78. The second one we would need is Hudi-Spark bundle 3.3, and we're going to use the Hudi 0.14. Again, that's the latest one. And then the next one, we're going to use Hudi-utilities-slim-bundle. These are the 3 jar files we're going to use. All these jar files can be found on the Maven. Okay. So again, you can simply put the name on the Google, and you should be able to navigate to the Maven repository, and you can click on the jar, and the jar file will be downloaded. So now on S3, what we will do is we will create a folder called jar. So create a folder called jar. And then I'm gonna go to this folder, and now we need to upload all the 3 jar files over here. So now right click, just drag these jar files, click on upload, and this might take a couple of seconds. So now let's be patient. All right, so all my jar files have been now uploaded on S3, as you can see over here, right? So step 1 was basically we downloaded the data set. Step 2, we basically uploaded these 3 jar files on S3. Now let's take a look at the Glue job on how we can run the Hudi Delta Streamer. All right, let's proceed to the Glue job and see how you can now run the Delta Streamer jobs on Glue. So head over to Glue, and over here you can click on script editor, select the type as Spark, click on create script, and then over here remove all the code, and then paste the code that I have given you. Okay, and I'll explain you the code base shortly. So paste everything here. Now let's configure the job details. So the job name would be Hudi Delta Streamer job. So we're gonna copy this particular job. Okay, over here. Okay, then the IAM role, select the IAM role, type as Spark. The Glue version will be 4.0. The language is gonna be Scala. Okay, number of workers is gonna be 3. Okay, and then we'll go to the advanced properties, and over here you see this dependent jar path. Now you uploaded all these 3 jar files on S3, right? So we're gonna create these are the jar file paths separated by comma. We'll copy this, come over here, paste it over here. Okay, and then click on save. So now we have a Hudi Delta Streamer job. So now let's review the code. I'll actually show you the code in the IntelliJ because it's much more easier to zoom in and zoom out, right? Again, simple, right? This is a bucket name. It's a variable, right? Here, source class org.apache.hudi.utilities.sources.parquet DFS source. If you're using CSV, you can use the CSV DFS source. If you're using Kafka, you can use that particular class, right? So hopefully made sense, right? Now look over here. This is how we are providing all the Hudi configuration, right? So here you can see that this is where my sample data set is, right? Inside the bucket, inside the folder called test, right? We uploaded the sample file in the step 1, right? So if I go to my bucket, as you can see, we have that sample file, right? So that's the path where my Parquet data set is, right? Precom key, how you want to redupe the data. So I'm using a column called replication timestamp. Inside the Parquet dataset, there's a column called replication timestamp. It's basically a timestamp that I'm using it for dedupe purposes. Okay. Record key. So what do you want to use as a primary key? I'm using invoice ID as my primary key. Table type is going to be copy on write. The target table name is going to be invoice. And this is where it's going to create the target table. Inside the bucket, it's going to create a folder called test cases again. Hopefully made sense. So the code is pretty straightforward, right? If you have been through my Delta Streamer playlist, you will probably know what I'm talking about. These are all standard, very simple settings for Delta Streamer, right? So now coming to the glue job. Oops, where is my glue job? Over here. Nope, I think here. All right, so we have our glue job, right? Hopefully made sense, right? Now let's basically run the job. Now my job is in the running state, so I'm gonna pause the video and resume once the job is in the complete state. So the job is still running, so now let me wait for this to complete. But meanwhile, let me see if there are some files on S3. Here you can see we do see the Hudi folder, and soon we are gonna see all the partition files coming in because the Delta Streamer job is still running, right? So let's wait for this to complete, and then I'll resume the video after that. And finally the Delta Streamer job is complete. As you can see, if we go to S3 and now refresh, hey, look, we got all of our beautiful partition. We got the Parquet files, the Hudi metadata, and so on. So I hope this video will help developers. I hope this video helped developers to get started with Apache Hudi Delta Streamer running on AWS Glue. Small note, if you are gonna follow the steps which are mentioned on AWS blog post, they are a little outdated, right? So kindly follow this particular guide. And also those guide are using a very older version of Hudi. This video shows you how to use the latest 0.14 running on your AWS Glue. Thank you so much for watching. All the resources, the sample code and the jar file could be found on my Google Drive. So if you need, you can download those jar files from Google Drive links. So thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share the video with your fellow co-workers and colleagues. And I'll be seeing you in the next upcoming video.